Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, episode 309. Welcome back. This is Friday Fundamentals. Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. Thanks so much for tuning in. Happy Friday. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you've got a great weekend planned ahead for you. Well, this week's Friday Fundamental is progress over perfection. So let's start with this scenario. You're planning a road trip that will take you across the country from Portland, Maine, driving south to the beautiful and sunny beaches of Tampa, Florida. But being the perfectionist, type A person you are, you want to make sure everything for your trip is planned just right. That includes making sure you avoid every bit of traffic, travel when there is only good weather, and never even so much as hit a red light. Now, that sounds a bit ridiculous, right? With that perfect of a trip expected, you wouldn't make it past the Casco Bay Bridge into South Portland, much less ever make it to Florida. If you instead committed to driving to Tampa with the expectations that you will come across unforeseen circumstances along the way, then you can best prepare for those now and start your journey knowing you'll make it to those sunny and sandy beaches regardless of what the open road challenges you with. Not to mention, you'll have your feet in the sand before you would have even left your front door had you waited for the world to align to your perfect conditions. Now, this is where so many of us find ourselves in our daily lives, although we may not quite realize it. We're waiting for the perfect time to do that thing we've been thinking about and putting off. We want to wait for the right time, have it all figured out, and be completely prepared for every realistic and unrealistic scenario we can imagine, right? We find ourselves at the crossroads here of progress and perfection. On one hand, we don't want to make any hasty moves that may incur unnecessary risk. Therefore, we put off taking action, thinking we are avoiding risk. But what we often don't realize is not taking action doesn't mean we're avoiding risk. In fact, not acting is a risk in itself. It's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't things. We are wired to avoid risk wherever possible, but this risk aversion can sometimes come at our own peril. We may miss out on opportunities, unknowingly incur risks by staying in our same risky situation, or worse, never even experience the feelings of taking calculated actions and overcoming our own hurdles in life. This is what psychologists call loss aversion, which refers to a person's tendency to prefer avoiding losses rather than acquiring equivalent gains. Simply put, it's better to not lose $5 rather than to find $5. So, do you want to keep what you have or strive for more? Striving for perfection comes with opportunity costs. Now, opportunity cost refers to the loss of potential gains from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. In other words, you cost yourself other opportunities by striving for perfection rather than making progress. In the tech world, when a product is designed, the developer will release a beta version, which its purpose is to test the market conditions, receive feedback, identify bugs, and in return, the developer improves the product in iterations based on those inputs. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, is a popular case study for this exact topic. Although he was a notoriously fierce perfectionist, even he released the early version of the iPhone with flaws. Think of the difference in the technology between the first iPhone and the latest model you have in your pocket today. Had Steve Jobs waited to launch the iPhone until it was perfect, you might be carrying around a BlackBerry, a Motorola Razr, or Nokia phone instead. So think back to a time when you were faced with a big decision. Maybe a new job offer, deciding on where to attend college, proposing to your significant other, or moving to a new place, for instance. Think of the feelings and emotions you had. On one hand, you're excited, and on the other, you're nervous about taking that step and reviewing all the risks that come with it. Hopefully, you thought through the decision, weighed your options, and made the decision that was best for you with the information you had at the time. After all, that's really all you can do. That's how I have experienced life, a series of these decisions. Your life is a culmination of the decisions you've made. Your thoughts, decisions, and actions have led you over the years to where you are now. So let's look at a few tips for taking action. First, just commit to one step and then the next. You don't have to look at the entire journey, but rather just your next simple move. Then, accept that you will make mistakes. The only wrong decision is not making a decision. As Eckhart Tolle says, any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If it's a mistake, at least you learn something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing. And lastly, Ryan Holiday, in his book, The Obstacle is the Way, suggests you should find the obstacles in your life and focus your effort there. This is where you will find accomplishment, fulfillment, and results. So next time you're feeling indecisive or unsure of what to do in your own life, look for the obstacle and tackle it. We each have something in our lives that we can progress rather than perfect. For you, maybe it's starting that new business idea, investing in that real estate deal you've been considering, planning that bucket list trip, or moving to that dream location. Whatever it is for you, start taking action now. Even with the smallest step, do something today that will put you one step closer to making that dream a reality. Soon enough, you'll have accomplished what once was only a dream, and you'll thank yourself for starting right now, today. Well, hey, that wraps up this week's episode of Friday Fundamentals. Progress over perfection. I hope that's what you're going to implement in your life. Start taking action now, today. You are capable of so much if you'll just take action and start today, whatever that looks like for you. Well, hey, I hope you're getting so much value from this podcast, from our weekly guest interviews and our weekly Friday Fundamentals, just like this one. Hey, if you haven't yet, please go over and leave a rating and review. Let me know what you like about the show. If you have any comments, suggestions, I'm always open and love hearing from you. You can reach out to me. The best place to do so is at www.jacobayers.com. Until next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.